जय श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, the status quo, Chapter 5, Vidura talks with Maitreya, verse number 47, 3.5.47. तथा परे चात्म समाधि योग बलेन जित्वा प्रकृतिं बलिस्थाम् त्वमेव धीरा पुरुषं विशन्ति तेषां श्रमस्यान्न तु सेवया ते तथा परे चात्मा समाधियोग बलेन जित्वा प्रकृतिं बलिष्ठाम् त्वमेव धीरा पुरुषं विशन्ति तेषां श्रमस्यान्न तु सेवया ते तथा परे चात्मा समाधियोग बलेन जित्वा प्रकृतिं बलिष्ठाम् त्वमेव धीरा पुरुषं विशन्ति तेषां श्रमस्यान्न तु सेवया ते Word to word meaning Tatha as far as apare others cha also atma samadhi transcendental self realization yoga means balena by the strength of jitva conquering prakritim acquired nature or modes of nature balishtham very powerful tvam you eva only dhira pacified purusham person vishanti enters into tesham for them shrama much labor syat has to be taken na never tu but sevaya by serving te of you. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Others who are pacified by means of transcendental self-realization and have conquered over the modes of nature by dint of strong power and knowledge also enter into you, but for them there is much pain. Whereas the devotee simply discharges devotional service and thus feels no such pain. Purport. In terms of a labor of love and its returns, the bhaktas or devotees of the Lord always have priority over persons who are addicted to the association of jnanis or impersonalists and yogis or mystics. The word apare, others, is very significant in this connection. Others refers to the jnanis and the yogis whose only hope is to merge into the existence of the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Although their destination is not so important in comparison to the destination of the devotees, the labor of the non devotees is far greater than that of the bhaktas. One may suggest that there is sufficient labor for the devotees also in the matter of discharging devotional service, but that labor is compensated by the enhancement of transcendental pleasure. The devotees derive more transcendental pleasure while engaged continuously in the service of the Lord than when they have no such engagement. In the family combination of a man and a woman, there is much labor and responsibility for both of them. Yet when they are single, they feel more trouble for want of their united activities. The union of the impersonalist and the union of the devotees are not on a par. The impersonalists try to fully stop their individuality by attaining Sayujya Mukti or unification by merging into oneness, whereas the devotees keep their individuality to exchange feelings in relationship with the Supreme Individual Lord. Such reciprocation of feelings takes place in the transcendental Vaikuntha planets, and therefore the liberation sought by the impersonalist is already achieved in devotional service. The devotees attain mukti automatically while continuing the transcendental pleasure of maintaining individuality. As explained in the previous verse, the destination of the devotees is Vaikuntha or Akunta Dishnya, the place where anxieties are completely eradicated. One should not mistake the destination of the devotees and that of the impersonalist to be one and the same. The destinations are distinctly different, and the transcendental pleasure derived by the devotee is also distinct from chin matra or spiritual feelings alone. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षु उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी इति नामिने। नामस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I'm happy to be here. Beautiful spiritual world, your nice farm. And today we are discussing this canto third section, wherein at the time of creation, the demigods are awarded certain duties to perform for the creation to move on, but they find themselves incapable to perform those duties. So to seek help, they pray to Lord Vishnu so that they can perform their duties. And these are the prayers we are reading. So we see repeatedly the devotees and demigods, they are praying to Krishna, praying to Vishnu for success in their life, or for protection, or for performance of duties. And when they are blessed by Vishnu, then they are successful. So ordinarily, we are taught to be self dependent, that. Oh, thank you. Ordinarily, we are taught to be self dependent. Manage yourself. Don't take help. When a person thinks if I take help, then I'll expose myself as a weak person or as a dependent, and somebody may exploit or abuse or criticize or tease. But Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us that we should increase our dependence on Krishna, and that's the success of life. Depending on Krishna doesn't mean I become lazy or I become impractical or I become irresponsible or I give up my duties. No. Depending on Krishna means by His blessings I perform my duties and He gives the result. He fulfills the needs, He fulfills our desires. In fact, when we pray to Krishna, He fulfills our desires beyond our imagination. So, what I want, Krishna gives something more than that, beyond that. In an ordinary transaction, when you ask somebody $10, you will get $10. But in transaction with Krishna, if you ask $10, he not used to giving such a small amount. He give you a bigger one. And that's true. Let me tell you a small story. There was a boy who was very naughty. So one day his mother told him, look, tomorrow we are going to my sister's house, your aunt's house. You call aunt, right? There you don't be naughty. Because mother knows if the boy is naughty there, mother's name will get spoiled, not boy's name. All sisters will come to know that she doesn't maintain the boy properly. And she doesn't want to spoil her reputation. So there you don't be naughty. The boy said, okay. So mother and son went to sister's house, mother's sister's house. Both the sisters are sitting and talking, and the boy is silently sitting on the chair. 1 hour, 2 hour, 2 hours passed. Now the aunt thought that this boy is sitting silently. Maybe he's hungry. 2 hours have passed. So she brought a box of chocolates and kept it in front of the boy. Said, have chocolates. Now this naughty boy, for him chocolates are very favorite. He would like chocolates. And every day he would tell his mother to purchase chocolates for him. And now there is a box of chocolates. So the aunt said, my dear son, take these chocolates. The boy said, I don't want. He said, you must be hungry. Take few. He said, I don't want. He said, children like chocolates. Take some. He said, I don't want. He said, okay, take one. I'm telling you, take one. He said, I don't want. 10 times the aunt said, take chocolate, take chocolate, take chocolate. He said, no, no, no. So she left it. Both the sisters continued their talking. 3, 4 hours. Now when two sisters talk, their agenda don't get over anytime. Right? So they're talking, talking. The only way the agenda get over is, okay, rest of the talk we'll do on the phone. So much to catch up. So finally, the mother and son got ready to leave. The aunt felt very bad that this boy 4 hours sitting here silently and didn't eat anything. I offered chocolate, he didn't agree to take. So while going, the aunt with her own hand picked up a full palm of chocolate and put it in his shirt pocket. Said, go eat on the way. So mother and son are walking on the street, and this boy, very fast, he takes one chocolate, unwraps it, put it in the mouth. Takes another, unwraps, put in the mouth. Third one, unwraps, very fast, he's eating chocolates. So mother was surprised. He said, "You naughty boy, what kind of behavior is this? My aunt told you 20 times, eat chocolate, take chocolate, take chocolate. You say, no, no, no. Now you're eating fast, fast. You to love chocolate, so why did you do that?" The boy smiled. He said, "Mother, my hand is small. My hand is small. If I take with my hand, very little will come. But because I didn't take with my hand, my aunt gave me with her hand. See, so many came. Isn't that clever? So, same way, this world is a box of chocolate, and we all want some. So, when we extend our hand to pick up few chocolates, very little will come because our hand is small. But if we fold our hands and pray to Krishna, Govardhan Dhari, lots will come because Krishna will extend his hand and put it in our pocket, and his hand is much bigger. And that's true, many devotees can vouch for it. In fact, in Bhagavatam, there's a very classic example. You heard of Kardam Muni? He married to Mother Devhuti and got Kapila Avatar, Lord Kapila, Krishna Avatar, as his son. So before marriage, Kardam Muni was a brahmachari staying in the forest under a tree, having no property, no house, no clothes, no bank balance, no education degree, no mobile, no items, without clothes, staying under a tree, nothing to eat, and meditating. So much tapasya he did that he became so skinny that his bones were visible. So Lord Vishnu appeared on Garuda. And when Lord Vishnu saw Kardam Muni, his devotee, performing so much tapasya, Lord Vishnu had tears in his eyes, and that tears formed Bindu Sarovar, and that place is still there in Gujarat in India. Bindu Sarovar. So he paid obeisances and offered prayers. And at the end of the prayer, he said, "My dear Lord, I have a desire to get a suitable wife." So Lord Vishnu said, "I know your desire. I have already arranged it. 2 days later, the emperor of this planet, Manu Maharaj, he will come on a golden chariot with his wife Shatarupa and his young daughter Devuti, and he will give Kanyadan, he will give Devuti to you to marry, and you accept that girl, she is suitable candidate for you." And it happened after 2 days, the king of the planet, the emperor of the whole planet, came in the forest in golden chariot and gave away his daughter to marry Kardamuni. Now, which father will give his daughter to a boy who has no house, no money, no income, no degree, no clothes, no utensils, no mobile, staying under a tree in the forest? No father will do that. But Manu Maharaj, the emperor of the planet, did that because Vishnu inspired him. So Kardamuni's desire got fulfilled beyond his imagination because he prayed to Vishnu. Devuti is not an ordinary girl. When Devuti was 11 or 12 years of age, one day she was playing with her friends with a ball on the terrace of her palace, skyscraper palace, very high. She was playing. And in the clouds there was a plane going. One Gandharva is a celestial being from Gandharva Loka who sings and plays musical instruments in the assembly of Indra. He was going in the plane. This Gandharva used to sing in the assembly of Indra in the heavenly planets, and Apsaras used to dance. So this Gandharva was used to seeing beautiful Apsaras dancing every day. And from his plane, he saw Devuti playing with a ball on the terrace. So beautiful Devuti, so beautiful. Seeing her, he became unconscious on the floor of his plane. This true thing, true fact. So one who sees apsaras every day dancing, beautiful apsaras, if he falls unconscious by seeing Dehuti, how beautiful she must be. And this beautiful princess, Kardamuni received as a wife, sitting in the forest, no excess, because he prayed to Vishnu. If Kardamuni has uploaded his biodata on some matrimonial site, would he got Devuti? Would she check and say, oh, this is a nice profile? No, that would not work. But he prayed to Vishnu, so it worked. So our life is successful when we increase our dependence on Krishna. And whatever Krishna does is good for us because he knows us better. So demigods are praying to Krishna. And in today's shloka, they are comparing devotees with impersonalists. And they are saying these jnanis, these impersonalists, or these mystics, yogis, mental speculators, they use their intellectual strength to achieve you, to merge in you, but they undergo lots of labor, they undergo lots of difficulties. Whereas devotees, don't undergo so much labor and so much pain. They easily achieve you in a loving relationship. Even in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, Arjuna asked this question to Krishna that in your opinion, which worship is highest, Sagun or Nirgun? Sagun means with form, like we do, and Nirgun means without form, impersonal, like impersonalists do. So Arjuna is asking which worship is highest. And Krishna gives his conclusive answer that those who engage in loving devotional service to me, according to me, they are perfect. Sagun, devotees. Then Krishna says, even Nirgun followers, impersonalists also achieve me. But that path is very difficult and there is lots of pain involved. There's lots of pain involved. Impersonalists have to get detached to the world. Devotees have to get attached to Krishna, and that's the main difference in the process. If there's a nice sweet, which sweet is popular here? Sandesh, Rasmalai. If there's nice Rasmalai, impersonalists will have to struggle hard to avoid it because sense gratification is opposite to austerity. And if he wants to progress spiritually, he has to do austerity, so he has to avoid this Rasmalai. And Rasmalai is in front of you and you have to avoid it. Isn't that painful? Isn't that struggle? Or you have to throw it or give to somebody else. And even if you do it in 2 minutes, after that few hours, your mind will go on. Why did you give? Nobody was watching, you could have had it. Devotees, they just have to take the Rasmalai, offer it to the deities, and enjoy. Honor prasadam. No struggle, pain free life. And you go back to Godhead by having prasadam and chanting the holy name, chanting, dancing, feasting. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching, he could preach to atheist people, demigod worshippers, materialistic people, but these Mayavadis, impersonalists, they evaded Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very difficult to preach. So after sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi. Varanasi is famous abode of Lord Shiva. Banaras, Kashi, in India, you must have heard. So there's a very big temple of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishwanath. And it's a seat of Mayavad. Many Mayavadi sannyasis, headed by Prakashanand Saraswati, the followers of Shankaracharya, they practice their process there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi, there were hardly any devotees. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did Sankirtan on the street of Varanasi. And people started joining and following him. And for hours, whole day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will chant and dance in ecstasy. And hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people started dancing and chanting with him, having tears in their eyes and becoming stunned and perspiring and body trembling and hair standing and voice choking and falling unconscious, getting ecstasy of Krishna Prem. And every day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to the temple of Lord Shiva early morning to attend Mangala Arati. Early morning, hundreds of people will come to the temple of Lord Shiva to take darshan of Lord Shiva in Mangala Arati. Early morning, thousands and lakhs of people would come in the temple of Lord Shiva to take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya became more popular than Lord Shiva in own Lord Shiva's temple and Lord Shiva city. Lakhs of people would come to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prakashan and Saraswati and all Mayavadi sannyasis, they started criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They said, this sannyasi, Chaitanya was a very young sannyasi, 24 years age. Said this sannyasi is very emotional. He whole day chants and dances on the streets like an emotional, foolish person. And he eats with low class people. And he stays in the house of low class people. And he mixes with low class street people. He doesn't come to us and associate and study Vedanta Sutra and perform tapasya. He's not performing his sannyas duties properly. So they would criticize. And there were two devotees, Chandrasekhar Acharya and Tapan Mishra. They were very feeling pain when they hear the criticism and they couldn't argue and defeat the criticism because Prakashana Saraswati was a big leader. So they came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, we are hearing this and we are feeling very pain. You please deal with this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled. He didn't take it seriously. He said, I am on my way to Vrindavan. I don't want to deal with all this. Natural. If you are on the way to Vrindavan, you want to deal with anything management, forget it. So when he came back, again this started. So Chaitanya thought, okay, now let me deal with this. So Sanatan Goswami came there to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Chaitanya was talking to Sanatan Goswami, one Brahmana came, inspired by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Maharashtrian Brahmana, paid obeisance and said, Mahaprabhu, I want to invite you for lunch in my house. All the sannyasis of Varanasi are coming, you also come. All Mayavadi sannyasis. Chaitanya generally would not take such invitations, sitting with Mayavadis and eating. But that day he accepted the invitation because he wanted an opportunity to talk to Mayavadi sannyasis. So Chaitanya said, okay, afternoon I will come. So afternoon Chaitanya went to the house of the Brahmana. All the Mayavadi sannyasis are sitting on big, big asanas. And the topmost, highest asana is Prakashanand Saraswati, the leader of all Mayavadi sannyasis. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. The first thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did as soon as he entered the door is paid full Dandvat Pranam to all the sannyasis. That is his humility. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to wash his feet. And the place where he washed his feet, just adjacent to that, he sat down. Very humbly. Unclean place. And as he sat down, there was effulgence coming out of his body. So seeing him humbly bowing down and paying obeisances, seeing him humbly sitting at a place where he washed his feet, and seeing the effulgence from his body, all the hearts of the sannyasis, Mayavadi sannyasis melted. They got attracted to him. Anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very beautiful with Goranga, golden form, golden complexion, and nice shaved head, and long arms, and well built body, broad chest, thin waist. So they got attracted to his beautiful form. Then Prakashanand Saraswati addressed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Said, Maharaj, what is bothering you? Why are you sitting in that unclean place? What is disturbing your mind? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, look, you are a high class sannyasi. I am a low class sannyasi. How can I sit with you? So I am sitting here. Seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's humility, Prakashana Saraswati got up from his own asana, walked towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, gave his hand, took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hand and made him sit beside him. He said, no, you are Bharati Sampradaya. That's part of Shankaracharya lineage. You are part of us, Sampradaya. Please sit with us. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat with him. And Prakash Saraswati said, my dear Maharaj, we have seen you whole day chant and dance on the street with all low class people very emotionally, crying always. Why you do that? You are a sannyasi. Why don't you stay with us or the other sannyasis and study Vedanta Sutra with us and perform austerities? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very humbly said, look, my spiritual master Ishwar Puri, he told me you are a fool, murkha. You will not understand Vedanta Sutra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Pandita actually. So you will not understand Vedanta Sutra. I am just giving you this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You chant this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu obediently said, okay. He started chanting. As he was chanting, he developed Krishna Prem. And sometimes he will laugh, sometimes he will cry, sometimes he will jump, sometimes he'll fall unconscious. Tears would come from his eyes, his hairs would stand, his body will tremble, and perspiration will come. Sometimes he will dance, sometimes he'll get stunned and sit quietly. This all happening in public on the street. So people who don't know, they will think some madman has come. Suddenly he's laughing, suddenly he's crying, suddenly he's walking, suddenly he's stand still, suddenly he's falling down unconscious, and suddenly he's jumping in the sky. Madman. So every day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's madness increased in Krishna Prem. And people started talking about it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, since I have started chanting this mantra, all these things are happening. My spiritual knowledge is getting zero. I'm becoming mad. So he went back to Ishwar Puri, his spiritual master. He said, Guru Maharaj, what kind of mantra you gave me? I have become mad. Sometimes I'm laughing, sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm stand still, sometimes I'm jumping. What is this mantra? Ishwar Puri started laughing. He said, good. If you have become mad, you are successful because the purpose of the mantra is to make you mad in Krishna Prem. You are fortunate. I am very happy. Now you go and spread this mantra everywhere. Chant the holy name and tell others to chant the holy name. Yes. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Prakashana Saraswati, my Guru Maharaj taught me one more sloka. And what is that sloka? Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyatha. That Kalau in Kaliyug. If you want Gati, if you want liberation, then Kevalam, only one, there's only one way, which is the chanting of holy name of Hari, holy name of Hari, holy name of Hari. Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatir Anyatha, which means there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Only one way. 3 times it is said. Why 3 times? To emphasize that there is no other way. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very innocently told Prakashana Saraswati, look, I don't intentionally chant and dance and cry and laugh. It just happens. When I chant Hare Krishna, it just happens. All the sannyasis, their hearts started melting hearing this great news. Prakashana Saraswati said, my dear Maharaj, you are very fortunate, you got Krishna Prem, we have no objection. This is rare. But still the question stands, why don't you study Vedanta Sutra? Why don't you stay with us and associate and study scriptures? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, look, can I tell you something? They said, yes, yes, we like to hear from you. He said, Shankaracharya cheated you. Even though Shankaracharya is your Acharya, but Chaitanya said he cheated you, he misinterpreted Vedanta Sutra and taught you. The real interpretation of Vedanta Sutra is different. See, in Sanskrit, there are three ways to interpret a shloka: Shabdavritti, Lakshanvritti, Gaunavritti. Shabdavritti means direct interpretation, literal meaning. Gaun and Lakshanvritti is indirect interpretation. So when direct interpretation doesn't make sense, so they use indirect interpretation. Shankaracharya used fully indirect interpretation for all the Vedanta verses and screw out a meaning called the impersonal philosophy. So he says Shankaracharya cheated you. Impersonal philosophy is not the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. Direct attack on the Acharya of the Sampradaya. But Chaitanya said it so humbly and politely, they didn't got angry. They said, okay, if we have a wrong understanding, what is the correct understanding? Then Chaitanya said the correct understanding is Krishna is Janmadi Asya Yataha, the absolute truth. And we are part and parcel of Krishna. And we are meant to serve Krishna as in love. There's a big conversation. I can't go into the details. We don't have time. And finally, Prakashana Saraswati and all the Mayavadi sannyasis agreed and accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. And next day on the streets with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were all these Mayavadi sannyasis headed by Prakashana Saraswati with big, big dandas chanting and dancing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. So that's our philosophy, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, to engage in loving devotional service to Krishna. The Gyanis, they have to undergo lots of labor and they only merge in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. But devotees with less labor, chanting, dancing, feasting, they receive Krishna prem, going back home, back to Godhead, and serving Krishna in love, singing and dancing with Him. So Prabhupada touches a point here saying that some people may argue that devotees also have to do labor, waking up early morning, taking bath, attending Mangalati, chanting, worshipping deities. That is more laborious than sitting and reading books, which Gyanis do. Gyanis just read scriptures, they don't have deity worship and they don't have all these services. But Prabhupada says that is labor of love. And when devotees do labor, at the end they get some joy. When Gyanis do labor, at the end they get nothing. It's like this. Two boys are there. One, both are given 10 kg box. He said, carry to the city. Walk and carry to the city. The first boy has 10 kg stones. Another boy has 10 kg gold at the end. Both are doing labor. But who will enjoy the labor? The person who has gold. At the end it's his. You carry and it's yours. So if you know there is 10 kg load on you, you will have some unpleasant experience while walking. But suddenly in between I give you a call, hey, I forgot to tell you there is 10 kg gold and it's for you. After that you continue walking, will that be joyful or not? It will be extremely joyful. You will be ready to take one more trip. So devotees, when they do labor, they are very joyful. There's not a burden, like mother carrying a child. The child has weight and mother has to hold a carry. But she enjoys it. She enjoys it because there is love. So when devotees worship Krishna, there is labor involved, but there is lots of transcendental pleasure. There's lots of love. Like I gave example, throwing rasmalai requires labor. Eating rasmalai also requires labor. Which is joyful? Throwing or eating? Honoring prasadam. So mukti is easily available to devotees, which impersonalists are trying for. Bilav Mangal Thakur, a great acharya, he told one day there was knock on my door and I opened the door. Mukti Devi was standing with folded hands. Prabhuji, can I offer some service to you? And Bilamanga Thakur said, oh, my rounds are pending, come later. So Mukti is ready to offer service, but devotees want bhakti. Bhakti means loving devotional service. To love Krishna means to serve Krishna. Love means serve. If there is no service, it is not called love. It's not that I go to Krishna and say, I love you, matter over. No, and sleep. No, love means serve. Imagine in a park, one boy and girl meet, boyfriend, girlfriend meet. And the boy tells girl, I love you. And the girl says, can you get me some water? I am thirsty. And boy says, look, I love you. That's all, nothing else. Will you call that love? Love means service, fulfilling the needs of the beloved. So loving Krishna means offering service to Krishna. And that's very joyful. So the demigods are making a clear comparison. The Jnanis and impersonalists, they undergo lots of labor to get some success in meditation and dhyana and tapasya, merge in Brahma Jyoti, but it is very, very painful, very, very difficult. Whereas devotees, they undergo very small labor and they get much greater result. They are more joyful and they receive success going back home, back to Godhead and serving Krishna in a constitutional position. And Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON, he has made it very more simple. He has made it painless. Sometimes it may be difficult to get up early morning, but once you get up and come to temple, you forget the difficulty, you enjoy the day, right? Once you enter the temple early morning, then whole morning program is so nice and joyful and whole day goes so nicely. So it's a very easy, very simple service, devotional service, to come for Mangala Aarti and attend Narsingh Aarti, Tulsi Aarti, sit and chant minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on beats, Shingar Aarti, Guru Puja, class, Prasadam, and service in the daytime, read scriptures, associate with devotees. And if we do this every day, we go back home, back to God. Like nowadays, what people do early morning, they wake up, they turn on Wi Fi on the mobile. Why? So that all the apps are updated. Why you want to update the app? Yesterday the app was working fine. No, I want a better version today. So just as people are turning on Wi-Fi and connecting their mobile on Wi-Fi to update the apps, same way if we get up early morning every day and connect to Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, we will become better version of our own self. And if you do it every day, Mangalarti, every day chanting, every day Guru Puja, every day you are becoming better version of your own self. That is called growth. And if you grow every day, one day you will become perfect. And that's the success of human form of life. But if you miss this opportunity, the next life will become a dog or a cat or tree or plant. We wasted human form of life. So this human form of life is a great, great, rare opportunity. It is such an opportunity that little, very little hard work we do, and we will see Shyam Sundar face to face at the end. Beautiful darshan. So Srila Prabhupada has given us this process, and by his mercy and the mercy of all the devotees, we continue following this in this association of devotees. And Prabhupada says success is guaranteed for a rigid practitioner. So if you rigidly practice nice sadhana, do sincere service, success is guaranteed. So as we are staying here and already doing it, so we continue maintaining it. Okay, we end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Are there any comments or any questions? You may please share.
Thank you for the class. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions, and also you are mentioning, that the devotees also labor and work very hard, but they're getting transcendental reciprocation from Krishna. So when we have cases where there's two different cases. One is that a devotee may do service and then they say, okay, I've done this much service now, this much percentage of time I've given whatever percentage, and then now this is for me, for my sense gratification. And then another category is where devotees get burnt out. So what is that mentality that is blocking, that is creating that negativity, and how to correct it?
What is that mentality?
That one feels that they get burnt out, or they say that I've done this much service for Krishna, and then I'll have some time left for my own sense gratification. Why is that mentality there and how to correct it?
Okay, so a new individual starting bhakti, the start of bhakti is zero spirituality, 100 material activities, and it grows. And that zero becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100 becomes 99, 98, 97, 96. Eventually, it will come to 100 spirituality and zero material. That's final perfection. You're with me? So, if somebody you hear saying that I've done 60, now 40 is sense gratification, that means he's started this path and is somewhere in between, and you have come in contact with that person when he's in between stage. So, we don't judge. He's in between stage. Last year he was at a lower stage, he was 80-20. Now he's 60-40. Then it will be 20-80. Then it will go 100-0. So we don't judge. If he has a particular stage and we have friendship or contact, we help him to grow from that stage. That if you are 60-40, you do it 65-35. We help him grow in that stage. But if we judge every person on the stage with the last stage, we'll think everybody is imperfect and wrong. Right? Nobody starts perfectly. So if I come across some person like that, I would not judge, because whatever our stage is, we still have material body. So some salt is required in food. That's our sense gratification. Something is required in food. That's our material body. But yeah, we have to go on detached, reduce our sense gratification, and get joy by connecting to Krishna 24 hours. So if somebody is progressive, that's fine. It's like somebody is unclean and taking bath. Then you don't have to talk about it, because after bath he will be clean. So somebody is progressive, still doing some sense gratification, not sinful activity, sense gratification. And it's okay. We don't judge. We encourage him to reduce the sense gratification, dovetail it to Krishna, get detached, and become perfect. That's first part. Burnt out. Well, if somebody does endeavor beyond his capacity, he can end up in burnt out. It may be over physical endeavor or over mental endeavor or some political issues fighting. But generally, the basic factor which makes this happen is weak sadhana and heavy seva. That should not happen. Our sadhana, our seva should be both nice. Our seva should be depend on the foundation of sadhana. If sadhana is strong and you can have a building of seva, it will sustain. But if sadhana is weak and you erect a building, the foundation is weak and you erect a building, by the weight of the building it will fall. Like trees, you see such a big tree. The reason tree is standing is because there are deep roots inside. If the roots are not deep, the tree will fall when the wind comes. So becoming a big person in ISKCON, but not having deep roots inside with our sadhana, one day the devotee will find it difficult to sustain. So not only I have to become a senior devotee in ISKCON, I have to become an advanced devotee, which means I should have deep rooted sadhana. So somebody senior by age, somebody senior by initiation, somebody senior by management, or somebody senior by ashram. Sannyasi is senior, manager is senior, respected as senior. But that's not the goal. The goal is to become advanced, increase our sadhana, increase our dependence on Krishna. To become senior is easy in ISKCON, in any organization, or in a family. To become senior is easy. Should I tell you the formula? How to become senior? Very simple. Just stay alive. Just keep breathing. After a few years, you'll become a senior member of the society. Whether office or ISKCON or any organization or family, after a few years, you become senior. But that's not the goal. Becoming a big tree and also having deep roots. So if there is good sadhana, good friendship in devotee circle, then we can sustain our seva and not have this burnt out feeling. But if there is weak sadhana and no sharing, less friendship, and only physical or mental labor, and some unpleasant experiences during service with devotees we don't share or we don't maturely deal, then that burnt out things can happen. So we need to help devotees who are expressing that they are burnt out. We need to help them. We need to encourage them to do the sadhana, take shelter of Bhagavatam and holy name, have friends. Sometimes sadhu also require humor. So joke with friends, have a laugh, and encourage them so that we don't lose devotees. It's very difficult to make a devotee. So we don't lose devotees. Okay? Thank you. Yes.
Hello, Prabhu. I just wanted to ask about the difference between the mystic and then the Nani that you mentioned and the devotee and the impersonalist, because mysticism is something that is quite big for some people, maybe when they ascend even in Christianity or in other religions, and you feel that we might have messages from the spirit realm and things like that, and how that differs from a devotee, like their experience.
Okay. I'm not sure I understood. Krishna is very mystic.
And a devotee.
And devotee?
Yeah, mainly mystic and devotee.
Mystic and devotee.
Yes, please.
Impersonalist.
Yeah.
Okay. Jnani, impersonalist, is one whose process is through mental speculation, reading scriptures, using his mind and intelligence to come to conclusions, using logic and his experience to come to conclusions with a goal to merge in Krishna's Brahma Jyoti, Krishna's bodily effulgence. That's impersonalist. Yogi or mystic is one whose process is to do tapasya. His process is to use the body for lots of austerities, fasting and sitting at one place, and do dhyana in the heart and breathing exercises and asanas with a goal to achieve siddhis. Siddhis means he can do activities which average human cannot do. Mystic activities means if average human sees him walking on the water, it is mystic. It's something which is average human cannot do, beyond ordinary human capabilities. And this is possible by tapasya and siddhis. They are called siddhis, yogic siddhis. Devotee is one who understands that I am servant of Krishna and he engages in loving devotional service to Krishna and hopes that one day I'll go back to Krishna and eternally serve him there in the spiritual world. So all three have different processes and different goals. The Jnani's goal is to merge, the mystic goal is to acquire siddhis and control the world and then become liberated, and devotee's goal is to just serve Krishna. Okay? So if there's a rasmalai, the Jnani would throw it, right? The yogi will convert it to something else, and devotee will enjoy it and ask for one more. Any more questions? Yeah, we have time for more questions. Yeah, okay.
You were saying that it's very, very difficult to make devotees, and that's our experience, that because the soul's been so conditioned for so many lifetimes, it takes a lot of blood, sweat and tears to make devotees. So it seems like also, one of our big losses in the movement is so many devotees have left, and it seems when they leave, it seems also very hard to get them back. Do you have any experience of, sort of rekindling devotees who have left, trying to bring them back, any program?
Yes, I have few instances where I was part of mm, taking initiative to talk to devotees who have left. Yeah, it's tough, but it's easy also because they already have a taste, but they left because of some reasons. Generally, it is either their own weakness, or because they are judged because of their weakness, or some frustration among devotee relationship or unpleasant experience, or frustration over management, right? So basically, their emotions are disturbed. They leave. There are offenses also which happen, many reasons. So, most important thing requires a very, very, very patient hearing, where we hear and understand them. Very, very patient one-to-one hearing, without judgment. They can speak freely and not fear that they will be judged, not fear that the information they reveal will be used against them or used to exploit them or manipulate them. Very, very patient hearing, very, very good friendship, and extremely being an exemplary role model. If you are talking to a devotee, who he would like to look at you at a good stage, good status of bhakti. So being very exemplary in our sadhana and giving a patient hearing, friendship, and gradually attracting them. Again, the process is same: Harinam, Prasadam, and books. The process for old devotees and new devotees is same because we have same products. We don't have a new product. So we give them Harinam, tell them to chant again. We give them nice Prasadam, and we give them books, but no judgment. Because you left, so there's a change in behavior. No, no judgment. You are welcome. You left for few days or few years, you are welcome. Doesn't matter. Prabhupada did that. Some of his disciples left. When they came back, it was business as usual. There was no reference to why they left and what happened in between. We should be very much compassionate. Very, very compassionate. We should give chance to everybody. When when we do mistake, we want Krishna to give us chance. How many? 10? 100? 1,000? How many we want? If Krishna comes and tells you, okay, I'll give you this many chances, by that time you have to come back to God. How many chances we want? Unlimited? So why don't we give that to others? Unlimited chances. You left, you come back. Unlimited chances. You did a mistake, come back. Unlimited chances. As representative of Krishna, we give. When tomorrow the sun will rise again in the morning, Krishna gives one more day. Said, yesterday you didn't do 16 rounds, no problem. Today one more day you do. And that will go on every day. Every day Krishna gives new sun, new sunrise, new chance. Yesterday you didn't do, today do. Yesterday you broke four executive principles, no problem. Today new day, now you follow. Every day Krishna is giving us a chance. Not a second chance, not a third chance, so many chances. So as representatives of Krishna, we also have to give many, many chances to devotees. That's compassion. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. That Nityanand Prabhu's movement. He gave a chance to Jagai and Madai. Madai hit Nityanand Prabhu on his head with a liquor pot and blood started coming out. Why hit? Because Nityanand Prabhu told him to chant Hare Krishna. And he got angry and hit. After Madai hit, what did Nityanand Prabhu say? Chant Hare Krishna. And he tried to hit again. Nityanand Prabhu got a violent attack. Balaram getting violent attack. He killed Romashan Suta because he didn't offer obeisances by a straw. Here he got blood. But he gave one more chance. Chaitanya came to kill Jagai Madai. Nityananda said, no, don't kill. Chaitanya said, why should I not kill? You didn't read Bhagavad Gita, Paritrana Sadhuna Vinasha Duskrita. I have to kill demons. This is my avatar. Said, no, no, in this avatar you don't kill. Why? Said, in this avatar, if you kill, the earth will be empty. Then whom will you preach? Because everybody is Asura. Everybody is papi, simple. So we give chance. That's my understanding. Okay. Oh, can we continue taking questions? Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much. You said at the end of the class you're talking about seeing Shamasundar face to face at the end. And I was reading in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna, Krishna spoke to Arjuna because he was a dear friend of him. And Prabhupada was talking about how we need like we have to take the instructions of Bhagavad Gita like Arjuna did, and having a direct relationship with Krishna. And when I read that, I was thinking that we are also taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we should have that consciousness of being the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So, but at the same time, Prabhupada wrote that in the introduction that in order to accept the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, we should have a direct connection to Krishna. So could you explain that?
Yeah. So each one of us already have a direct relationship with Krishna. One of the primary relationships. You are aware? Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. Either we are servant of Krishna eternally, or friend of Krishna, or parental affection for Krishna, or conjugal affection, or Shantaras, just respect and love. Each one of us already have it. At the same time, when we are servant of Krishna or friend of Krishna, we serve Krishna in the spiritual world when we go in a group of devotees. So, for example, I have motherly affection for Krishna in the spiritual world. Just example, I have motherly affection for Krishna. So, I'll be there under Yashoda Maya, who is the main Vatsalya leader. And all motherly affection devotees would serve Krishna in that. So sometimes Mother Yashoda will say, give butter to Krishna, like that. Sometimes you give directly, sometimes you hand it to Mother Yashoda and she gives. Somebody is a gopi, then they will make garland and give to Lalita Sakhi. Lalita Sakhi will give to Radharani, and Radharani will offer to Shyam Sundar, and we will feel direct service that my garland is in the neck of Shyam Sundar. So there is no gap. And yeah, our sadhana should be as servant of servant of servant, because then we get blessings of everybody, so that we become successful. So there is no contradiction there. So this is the process. We end also like that, servant of servant of servant, and we serve our leader in the spiritual world, and the leader serves Radharani, and Radharani serves Krishna. In the line, everybody is happy. Okay. Yeah. Next question. Can you give the mic back?
You were mentioning how sorry, sadhana is so important to make spiritual progress. But if a person is practicing sadhana for many, many years, strictly, every single day, Mangalarati, japa, everything, and that person don't develop compassion, or the person doesn't lose the capacity of, that person shows a lot of judgment. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm just curious about, is that person making progress because of the sadhana, or the tendency to judge others constantly, others who are not so fixed in the sadhana, is stopping the person from making real progress?
Well, so while doing sadhana, if there are offenses, the progress is extremely slow. It's like a mountain has to be destroyed with a small pin. Theoretically, yes, few particles will come out every day. But when will the mountain get destroyed? After millions of years. So bad habits are mountains. So if sadhana has lots of offenses, the progress is very slow. Another thing is, since millions of years we have these anarthas, and we are doing sadhana for last 10, 20, 30 years or whatever. So it will take more time. The nature doesn't change so fast. The nature of an individual influenced by passion and ignorance doesn't change so fast. The qualities don't come so fast. So there's patience required to see a transformation. If the person has stopped eating meat, eating and intoxication, I mean that itself is a big transformation. To stop eating all these things and doing all these bad habits. But to have all the good qualities of compassion, tolerance, peacefulness, humility, honesty, intelligence, wisdom, austerity, self control, cleanliness. People don't even know the list of these qualities, forget having it. Takes time. So we have to patiently watch. Plus, if we have concern about an individual who is doing nice sadhana but lacking some of the etiquette or compassion and something, judging others, we can have a chat. We can talk if we are in a capacity to guide or a friendly conversation. That look, your chanting is nice, your Mangala Arati is nice, your Guru Puja is nice, your class is nice, your Kirtan is nice, your service is nice, your skills are nice, your cooking is nice, and this also happens, it will be much better. What happens? You don't judge devotees. It will be much better. So we appreciate what they are doing and we add a point of improvement. And they will, if they are doing nice sadhana, they will take it. They will be open that yes, I need to improve in this area. If we are good source of relationship with them, and they will try to improve. So we help them to improve. So, so those who judge others, we don't judge them. Otherwise, there's no difference. Okay.
Thank you. Another one is a technicality about Lord Chaitanya. Why did he say that he was a lowly sannyas? Because at that time, the only sannyas that they were considered high or higher were the impersonalists.
Yeah. So Shankaracharya's had many categories of sannyasis. The highest one was Saraswati, and that's Prakashanand Saraswati. And a lower one was Bharati Sampradaya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas from Keshav Bharati, and Prakashanand Saraswati took in Saraswat category, different groups in same Shankaracharya Sampradaya. So Chaitanya said, I am a lowly sannyasi because Bharati Sampradaya was considered lower than Saraswati Sampradaya. So the title is there, Saraswati, Bharati. So that's why it's said. Okay, we end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna.